Hi, welcome back to the Tran Designs podcast. I'm your host Melissa, also known as Anansi on Ravelry and on Instagram and anywhere else. I'm Tran Designs. Today is Friday, June 10th, 2016, and this is going to have to be quick. I wanted to come talk to you about ZK and show you the stuff that I got because I am feverishly packing for the kids and I to leave on our cross-country tour tomorrow. So anyways, we're going to fly through this as quickly as we can. Apologize for the I'm really overdue for a haircut, and that's happening later this afternoon, and so I just threw my hat on really quick. So anyway, trust me, you don't want to see what it looks like under here. Alright, welcome to new viewers, welcome back to returning viewers. I know there were quite a few of you who found out about my podcast at ZK, so if you're trying this out for the first time, hello! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see, it's mostly going to be ZK talk and acquisitions, so I'll just say the going on coming up thing, because happenings this week obviously was ZK and travel and stuff. Going on, me getting ready to leave, coming up, me leaving tomorrow. A couple episodes back I told you about the kids and I going to a friend's house in Kentucky that we will be spending the summer there, so I'll be recording from over there later on. We will leave tomorrow, Saturday, and we will get there on Tuesday. We'll be going through lots of states. So anyways, if you live anywhere around the country that you think I might touch, and you think we might be able to cross paths, let me know. I would love to meet up with you, even if it's for just an ice cream cone or something. Alright, so that's about all I'm going to say about anything that's not Zombie Apocalypse or related to that. So let's jump right into that. So last time I recorded, I was at my friend's house in Layton, Utah. I left the next morning and drove from her house over to a town in Nebraska that I can't think of the name of, Hershey. And Wyoming is gorgeous to drive through. And I'll say that again later when I'm talking about my way back. But Wyoming is so beautiful. And driving over the Continental Divide at 8,000 feet, and all the geological features, it's just, well, the western part, southwestern part's kind of blah, but then you get into the interesting stuff. So anyways, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you to my friends who were keeping me company through Voxer. If you don't know what Voxer is, go look it up. I'm not going to get into it right now because that would be a whole nother spiel, but it's worth it. Voxer. It's like Boxer, but with a V. If you would like to keep me company some more while the kids and I are traveling, message me and I'll give you my phone number. We can talk. Anyways, then I hit Nebraska, and I'm going to pre-apologize to any of you who live in Nebraska. It is mind-numbingly boring. The green is beautiful, but there's nothing there. There's nothing. You can see forever and ever and ever and ever, and that's weird to me because I'm used to having, you know, mountains and hills and stuff like that. So I was just like, the sky just never ends. Anyway, and there was nothing. And the radio stations are kind of funny too with all the crop prices. So anyway, spent the night at some people's house that night, and then the next day, Wednesday, got up bright and early and drove the rest of the way through Nebraska, through Iowa, and then turned up into Minnesota. Iowa was pretty, when you get into these rolling hills where the road just, that was kind of fun. And then it was really neat to see, you know, it's just open, but then there will just be this grove of trees with a farmhouse in the middle and a silo and a barn and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of reminded me of the movie Twister, where there's just nothing and then there's just this house, you know, this farm that pops up. And anyways, it's all over, and I really enjoyed that because it was like stuff I'd seen like on TV or movies or, you know, pictures or whatever. So and southern Minnesota was like that as well. It took me until, what time did I get there? I don't know. 4, 5, 4:30? I don't remember. Early evening was when I finally got there. Got checked into the hotel, met my roommates, and then went and got settled in over at the DoubleTree, which is where we were meeting the whole time and congregating. And it was nice because Wednesday night was just hanging out. There was nothing official. It was just everybody who could get there came and hung out. And then Thursday morning came, and I had a class. It was German style knitting, which really was just continental knitting. And I had signed up for a continental class, so I ended up, my roommate was the continental teacher, and I was like, hey, so I just took a continental knitting class, so would you be offended if I didn't come? So anyway, I was kind of bummed because I thought it was going to be like a whole different technique, and really, I'm not planning on switching over. The few times I've tried it, I thought I was doing it wrong, because I just couldn't quite get the hang of it, but really it's just that I haven't stuck with it long enough to make it consistent and really get a feel for the yarn in my left hand, so that's alright. It was, it was free, and I did learn a few different tips, from a couple people I was sitting next to, so, I still learned stuff, and what was neat was that people were asking me how I knit because of a comment that I made about doing a small movement. So anyways, I got to show a couple people. We had already mastered what she had us doing, and she was going around to the other people, so I was kind of showing them how I knit. And afterwards, the teacher made a comment about wanting to see how I did it. So we ended up sitting together later on, and I showed her what I do. Anyways, we went to the chocolate shop that day. There's a chocolate shop right across the street, but you're up on Skyways, so just down the hall essentially. Over there, got some chocolates, and Thursday night was the welcoming ceremony, opening ceremonies, and I got drawn that night for my door prize drawing, and I won a skein of Miss Babs Yowza, but I ended up trading it, and I'll show you what I traded it for later. It was not my colors, and that really was killing me because I love that yarn. So anyway, yeah, so it was Thursday. Friday, no classes or anything, just hung out, totally missed the designer showcase, which was my fault. I was supposed to be part of it, and apparently just didn't stick it in my brain, the time of it, because I just didn't realize that when it was. So I'd gone back to my room for lunch, and then I was sitting and talking to my roommate, one of my roommates, and then I go back, and it was like an hour and a half in, or an hour in. It was an hour and a half long, maybe. Yeah. So I was just like, ah, dang it. So anyway, yeah, there was that. Totally my mistake, and I apologized to Megan. I said it was not intentional. So anyway, next year I just won't sign up for it. I just won't. Like, I just won't even obligate myself to it, because anyway, yeah. And then we had a podcaster panel. I'm pretty sure that was Friday. I'm pretty sure the podcaster panel was Friday. Yeah. And that was just kind of questions and answers and things like that. And I participated in that. And there were 9 people total, I think. 8 podcasts, 9 people, or 9 and 10. I don't remember. Anyways, but I think everyone who sat in learned something about podcasting, learned something about us. Yeah, I think everyone enjoyed themselves. Then Saturday was the market, and that was quite enjoyable. Well, first I went out to dinner with some people on Friday night, and that was a lot of fun. Vicki from the Heartland Knits podcast. If you don't watch her, you should, because she knows everything. She's amazing. I got to go with her and a few other people down to Chester's. It's kind of a thing, and oh geez, now I can't think of the word, but that's all right. She does it every time she goes into Rochester. It's just kind of her thing. So anyway, that is going to bug me, and I know you're telling me the word. I'll think of it eventually. So we did that, and then each night there's a little time when they do a presentation of door prices and stuff like that. So then Saturday came, and it was the market. Oh, and that was so much fun. I got to wear my awesome socks that I showed you last time with my awesome shoes, and I got lots of compliments on them, and they were so much fun to wear. And anyways, my lotions were a huge success. I almost sold out. There were 4 scents that I did fully sell out on. So my new scents are popular because that's what I sold out of, and the unscented. But I didn't have very many of those. But the orange lavender, the mojito, which was the special ZK scent. I don't think I told you what that was last time, which was mint and lime. And then, what was the other one? Citrus Splash. So I sold out of those 3, plus the unscented, so 4. And I was really down low on the others. I mean, like a medium-sized flat rate box was all I brought home full of lotions, and a quarter of that was my samples. So it was awesome. I took more than I thought I would need, and apparently I needed more. But I didn't have anybody walk away because they were like, oh, you don't have this one scent. They just got something else instead or whatever. So it all worked. And because of that, there was an attendee who is a dentist in Wyoming, and she liked the product so much, she did a bulk order of 50 large bars. So yeah, that was quite a huge deal. I have them packaged. I need to just finish packaging the last few, and they will be mailed out before I leave. No, that was just incredible. So anyway, if you're watching this and you bought at the market, thank you, thank you, thank you. You definitely made it worth my my while to drive all my stuff over there to vend. It was definitely worth it, and I'm hoping to do it next year. We'll see. I don't know what next year has in store, but it would be great to do that again. And then Saturday night we had, well, and I got to shop too. I'll show you all that stuff. Saturday night we had our closing ceremonies and did the rest of the door prize drawings, and we did the group picture. That was really fun. Yeah, there was really, in all those empty times, there was a lot of just sitting and hanging out. And I met amazing new people, and we kind of would congregate at the same table, and so even though nothing was assigned, you just kind of found your spot, you know. But there were a few people who I got to know, and it was so much fun. And Steve, Dramatic Knits, was there, and I was telling him, because we hung out a little bit, we sat together a few different times, and when the marketplace was closing down, he and Andy were packing up, and I could hear his voice every once in a while, and even though I knew he was there, I'm not used to him being in the same room, obviously, and so my automatic part of my brain would go, did I leave my computer on somewhere? Like, I would automatically go into, is the podcast on? I was telling him that on Saturday night. Anyway, he thought that was funny, because you're not used to somebody who you know lives halfway across the country from you being in the same room. And so anyways, I did kind of accost him when he got there. I waited till he got checked in. I was watching, and I waited till he did all the stuff, and then when he had kind of walked away from it, I ran over. I was like, Steve, can I hug you? So anyway, and then what was kind of neat was I had a shop credit with them for doing a sample, and we got to shop each other's booths beforehand, like I said, and I went over and was going to pay Andy, and so I introduced myself to him. I said, hi, I'm Melissa, and he's like, yeah, I know who you are, and I was like, you do? And he's like, yeah, when you came over and said hi to Steve on that first night, I was like, hey, Steve was just watching her podcast. He's like, I didn't remember your name, but I knew who you were. And anyways, so he's super nice. They're both super nice in person. And anyways, so that was a lot of fun. Anyway, so that's mostly the ZK part. I know I'm speeding through it. I'm really trying to just hurry because I have so much to do, and we're leaving at 7 a.m. So, then the drive home, oh my gosh, the drive home, I could tell you as much as I could about that entire weekend because I had so much fun. It was totally an adventure. So, I leave Minnesota at like 9:15 in the morning. And I went to Panakuchen that morning because that was a cheat day for me, food-wise. And we had some Panakuchen coupons. So, I left from there, got on the road, and went through Minnesota into South Dakota. I'd never been to South Dakota before, so another new state. Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota were the 3 new states that I hit during my trip. And it's funny because as soon as you cross the border, there are billboards practically every 5 feet is what it feels like. Sioux Falls, largest city in South Dakota, welcome, blah, blah, blah. I mean, just boom, boom, boom. So funny. So I hit Sioux Falls, and that's where I was stopping for lunch. And I messaged a friend of mine from high school because I knew she lived in South Dakota, but I didn't know where. And I was like, hey, here's my phone number. Call me. I don't know if I'm driving through close to where you live. Well, by the time she got the message and called me, she was like 10 miles south of Sioux Falls, but I was already past that. So she's like, well, I can keep you company. So we talked for like an hour and 45 minutes. And I've only talked to her once since we graduated 17 years ago. So it was really fun. She's a doctor and went to college for like 13 years, and I kind of felt like, I don't even know, an uneducated country bumpkin talking to her. Oh man, it was fun though, because her life is really exciting. She gets to travel and give speeches to other doctors, and she teaches but also sees patients and researchers and all this kind of stuff. So it was fascinating. So talked to her for a long time, crossed the Missouri River. I had no idea the Missouri River went that far north. I know some river geography, but I had no idea, and I didn't realize it was still that big that far north. So that was really cool. And then so you see these signs. Well, you see these signs all through South Dakota for wall drug. And I'd heard about wall drug, that it's just a tourist trap essentially. But I keep seeing these things for wall drug, wall drug, wall drug. But then before you get to wall drug, you get to drive past the Badlands. So I'd heard the term the Badlands, had no idea what it was. Oh my gosh. It is some of the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful landscape I've ever seen. It's essentially just rock that's left over from the erosion of it, but in these certain areas. That's what's weird. I don't know why they're there. I haven't done any research or anything, but the next time I go through there, I'm taking the scenic byway because it's a little far off the road, and I was probably unsafe, like trying to look at them while I was driving because I just was so blown away at how gorgeous they were. So after enjoying that, you get to Wall, South Dakota, which is where Wall Drug is. It started out just as a drugstore and then got bigger and bigger and bigger. It's been around since 1931. And I wasn't going to stop, and then I thought, you know what? I've been driving. I mean, it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon by that point, but the time had changed, so 5 o'clock in the time zone I had left from. So I had been going from 9:15, and it was 5, and I only had stopped for lunch and to gas up. Like, I was pushing that day, pushing, because I had 22 driving hours to cover in 2 days. So I was just like, go, 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 go. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop and take a break. So I did. I walked through. They have multiple stores that kind of run along here, and then there's this backyard, and then a whole nother set. And the backyard area has this really neat, like a covered walkway. And over on the side, there's like a water fountain, not a water fountain like falling, but there's the ground, and then there's water like shooting up from there. And there's like a small replica of an old water tower, like a wooden water tower, and water sprays out of the top and comes down the side. And anyway, there were kids running around and all that. Anyways, there was a bench right there. I bought myself a Diet Pepsi, and I sat down for an hour. I'm not even gonna lie. I just sat there, and the mist would blow from the water every once in a while, and it was like 83 with a little bit of a breeze. Oh, it was perfect in the shade, and I just sat and enjoyed it thoroughly. And I didn't even care that I sat there for, I didn't like sit for an hour. I was there for about an hour total. I sat there for probably about 45 minutes though. Oh, dang it. I bought a really cool ring when I was there, and I don't have it on. It's turquoise. It's a turquoise heart, and then on each side of it, in the sterling silver, there's a heart, and then on the kind of the front and back, there's kind of a scroll thing. Oh, it's the perfect right-hand ring. I have been looking for the perfect right-hand ring for years, and it is perfect. And it was only $17. So, anyways, I then got onto a Skype call. Jake had misplaced his phone. Well, Quinn had misplaced Jake's phone. And, so I hadn't talked to them all day long. And not that I talked to them actually a ton when I'm traveling, especially driving, but, you know, a little Voxer message here and there, just, you know, whatever. And I didn't like that. So I got on a Skype call with them. And what was cool was I turned the phone around and was showing them all the cool stuff. And I was like, we might be able to come through this way on the way home, depending on a few things. We might be able to come through here. And the kids were like, yeah, that'd be cool, and da-da-da. So anyways, got to talk to them, and they walked me back to the car. And I had been seriously wanting some sour cream and onion Pringles and cheddar popcorn. The Pringles are because that's my favorite thing to eat when I'm driving, and the popcorn was because other people at the retreat had bought a whole bunch of cheddar popcorn, and I was really jonesing for some, and then the popcorn place was closed. Anyway, the convenience store I stopped at to gas up before leaving there had Pringles and cheddar popcorn. So I finally got those. So then I drove and drove and drove some more. And I got out of South Dakota, which I didn't realize that I would be driving through Sturgis, which was cool. I mean, not that there were any motorcyclists there, because it's not during the rally, but it's still a cool historical place, you know, that you've heard of. So that was neat. Drove into Wyoming. I love Wyoming, especially Eastern. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Well, either way, it was starting to get dark, starting to get nighttime. I got to Casper. No. I got to Gillette and was starving. So I stopped and had some pizza. Went to Pizza Hut, had some pizza, chugged some more Diet Pepsi for some caffeine because I wanted to get a little bit farther. And the next chunk of driving was, it was highway, but it was pretty back roads highway. So I was like, all right, well, let's do this. So I left there at 9:40, probably close to 10 maybe. Anyway, no, it doesn't matter. Anyway, around there. Drove, got to Casper at about 11-ish, 11:15 probably, and found the Walmart because my accommodations for the night were the back seat of my car in the Walmart parking lot, because it is unanimous on the intertubes that the safest place to sleep in your car is the Walmart parking lot. So I got there, went inside, used the bathroom, got my seat all situated, you know, cleaned everything out, got all situated, was talking to my sister a little bit, and went to bed about 11:50, laid down, slept for 2 hours, and was wide awake. I mean, like, wide awake. So I laid there for a couple minutes, like, okay, go back to sleep, tried to get comfortable, no. Crap, okay, well, so then I sat there for a minute, and was like, well, I'm not going to get up and drive again, because I know I'll get tired again. And I knew I had another chunk of kind of uninhabited. I mean, it was major. Was it the freeway or another highway? I don't think I got on the freeway again, because there's only one main freeway that goes through there. But it was a very well used highway, but not at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? And I there wasn't another town for quite a long time. So I was like, no, I'll just stay here and hang out. So I went inside and went on a little shopping spree. I got nail polish, which is this nice, beautiful teal color that I just had to redo, so ignore any mistakes on there. Anyway, got some nail polish and some polish remover because I had a little bit left, and I got some random clothes for the kids that were on sale, and I got new sunglasses because that's what you do at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I got some apples and some Febreze. That's what you do at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So, went back out to the car, climbed in, pulled out my tablet, excuse me. I started Sorcerer's Apprentice on my tablet and did my nails, and then got tired and fell asleep for the last hour of the movie. I woke up during the end credits, and it was 5 o'clock by that point, or yeah, right around 5 o'clock. So I sat in there for a couple minutes and just kind of woke up and decided I should probably head out. So I went to the gas station, gassed up, freshened up a little bit, made my hair, you know, at least, I don't know, okay for public consumption after sleeping in my car for 3 hours separate, and hit the road by 5:30. So left from Casper, drove and drove and drove and drove, and I very liberally stopped and took pictures and just thoroughly enjoyed the pronghorn antelope that are all over the place and really fun to watch. And there was this one rest stop that I stopped at where I walked over kind of up on a little hill to take a picture of the scenery over here, and I hear this sound, and I turn around and there's one of those pronghorn antelope a ways away, but and on the other side of a fence and stuff. But he was totally watching me. I mean, just standing there watching me, and then he made this noise, and I was like, okay. I mean, he was just totally scoping me out. So I kind of walked towards him very carefully because I wanted to try to get a picture, and I got a couple. My camera, or my phone camera doesn't zoom in greatly, but I got a couple pictures. But it was cool. He just stood there watching me and kind of would walk a little bit, but yeah, anyway, totally interacting. It was cool. And just stopped and took amazing, I mean, the landscape there is just mind-blowing. And there's a town that I would love to go get a cabin in for like a week or two and stay, because it was just gorgeous. It's spelled D-U-B-O-I-S. I would say it Dubois, but Boise, we say Boise, and it's French as well, which would be Bois. Anyway, so I don't know if they say Dubois or Dubois. I don't know, because the locals, sometimes don't say it right. Like, we don't say, I live next to Boiseux. I live by Boise. So, anyway, I don't know how they say it, but I want to go stay there because it's absolutely amazing. Then, I did not even know that I was going to drive through the Grand Teton National Park. Oh, there's a bee. Go away, bee. I'm going to get up for a second. Alright, it was just regular bee. We have a wasp problem around here. Not just at my house, like in this whole area. And they're mean. So, there you go. I was having to see what kind of a stinger kind of thing it was. It's alright. So, the Tetons, the Grand Tetons. Oh my gosh, just Google it. And it's that pretty, only 10 times more so when you're in person. Yeah, pretty sure it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was mind-blowing. And I went over this pass that was 9,500 and some odd feet. There was snow still. Not a ton, but like there was snow around. And up ahead, as you're going over this pass, you can see these snow-covered mountains. Like the Grand Teton Peak is right there. I had no idea. I mean, I knew the Grand Tetons were over there, but I didn't realize I was going to be going right through them. So, so you go up over the pass and come down, and then there's a split off where you can go to Yellowstone or straight, and I went straight. But some of the wildlife kind of carries over. So, like, there were bison, and the speed limit's only 45 because of the wildlife. A deer just kind of went trotting across the road in front of me when there was a more wooded area. So then you get to this, it's just wide open with, like, sagebrush and stuff. There's this turnout, so I decided to turn and take pictures. It's Grand Teton. And there are glaciers on either side of it. I've never seen a glacier in my life. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Amazing, 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 amazing. And I want to go see it again because I just, yeah, I just can't, there's no words. There's just no words. So, drove through there. Then I got to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and decided to take a nice stop. It was kind of my wall drug of the second day. Got out and walked around. The town was crawling with people. So I was like, hey, there's a yarn store here. Oh, I didn't grab the yarn from the yarn store. It was in a different spot. I'll have to show you another time. Since I know where it is, I might just run and get it anyway. We'll see. I will just run and get it. So I walked over there. It was not full of tourists. It was nice. And they showed me around the shop and said that they would be interested in hearing more about my retreat when it comes time, which is cool. And I was in Jackson Hole probably about an hour total. It was a nice break. And then drove and got to cross the Idaho border, which was awesome. Got to Idaho Falls, and the 2 + 1 hours of sleeping, which I know equals 3, but it wasn't straight, so it's 2 + 1, really caught up with me. And I was like, okay, I just have to get to Pocatello, which is where my sister lives. It's like 50 miles. By the grace of God, I got to Pocatello, and I'm not even kidding you. That's not even slang. I'm not kidding you. There were angels driving my car, because I really probably shouldn't have been. Like, I stayed awake. I was functioning. Like, I was awake enough, but I could not have driven 1 mile farther than I did. Oh, man. So I got over there, and she was at work, and I said, you have to give me your keys. I have to go sleep. And she lives like 6, 7, 8 blocks from work. I said, you have to give me your keys. I have to go sleep at least for an hour. I can't drive another mile. And so she's like, okay. And I bought a couple things while I was there, and because she works at a grocery store. So drove over to her house, said hi to her dog, loved on him for a little bit, and then passed out. I woke up once to a cold nose on my finger because her cat had jumped up on the bed and was smelling my hand. And I was petting her, and then she was trying to get me to pet her more, so I turned over and pulled my hands under the covers, and then she laid right here. Oh, it was so sweet. So sweet. So, yep, I slept for an hour. Then I had to go get her keys back to her because she was going on lunch break, which she was hoping I would have gotten there to hang out with her during her lunch break. But by that point, I was like, I could stay, but I just want to get home. I just want to get home and be done. I'd been traveling for so long. So I got back on the road, and yeah, and then came home. It takes about 3 hours to get home from there. So I got home at 7:30, about 7:30, something like that. 34 hours after I left. So, yeah, it was such an exciting drive. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy, almost passing out in that little bit before my sister's house. But besides that, other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed my adventure. I have never done anything like that by myself before, and it was great. So, anyways, there's my ZK trip. Nothing really has gone on this week. The kids have been finishing up swimming lessons, and today's their last day of school. They're done. Actually, I'm sure they're done by, they get done in about 10 minutes, and then they'll be home. Like I said, today's a busy day, and then we leave at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll be stopping in Wyoming tomorrow night to sleep, and then we'll be in Kansas the next night, and then Missouri the next night, and then we'll be in Kentucky after that. So, yeah, I think that's all that I have to talk about as far as that goes, so let me show you some pretties. I want to show you first what I was knitting on. I was working on this sweater, the top-down sweater that I've shown you, that I was kind of winging it, following a pattern but winging it at the same time. It's out of the Miss Babs Yowza. I finished the body while I was there. I will be putting a kangaroo pouch on, and I decided that I didn't want to do waist shaping because I didn't want to have to worry about keeping track of counting rows and stuff. When I was talking, I just wanted to go and go and go. So I put some shaping in the form of some ribbing in the back. Can you see that? Here, hold on. Let me make sure it's, yeah, right here. And this fits so well. Oh my gosh, it fits perfectly. I put it on to see how long it was, so I knew if I needed to do the ribbing. And I just sat there like rubbing my stomach because it feels so nice. On the bottom ribbing, I did the tubular bind off, just like I did the tubular cast on at the top, so that they match each other. It's very stretchy. It does pull in, so you can see that it pulls in, but it is quite stretchy, so it'll sit very nicely. It also hasn't been soaked. I did this flat back and forth like I did the ribbing at the top, but what I did, and it is noticeable, but I don't know if I'll go through and tighten it up because I don't know if I care enough, to tell you the truth. On the back, I just did I twisted them and then went back around. And so you can see a little space there, but it's going to be in the back, right in the middle, so I don't think I care enough to fudge with it. So anyways, I do still need to sew this together. And I'm going to do the kangaroo pocket before I do the sleeves, like I said before, to see how much yarn I have. But I still have a considerable amount, so we'll see. I did work on another project while I was there, but I can't show it to you right now. And then I ended up getting stuck and not really knowing what to do, so I set it aside while at the retreat. I've worked on it since, but I can't show it to you. So it's a shawl. Now to the goodies. Pause, take a drink. I'm going to go grab the yarn from the Wyoming store really quick. All right. See, that was quick. I'll just show this to you really quick. This is Jackson hand-dyed fall, DK weight, 230 yards. The Camino Family Ranch is where it's from. It's Mountain Meadows wool, Touch of the West is what it says, Buffalo, Wyoming. And it is 100% mountain merino wool. And here's the colors. Isn't it gorgeous? It's not the softest thing ever. Like it's not neck prickly, but it definitely doesn't feel like regular merino. But I mean it's soft, just not as soft as kind of regular merino. It's a 2-ply. It has some good twist to it. Anyway, and it's mountainmeadowwool.com if you wanted to look it up. And then I grabbed a little project bag because that's the name of the place, Knit on Pearl, Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And then they had some of these. I know you can get them anywhere, but I don't have an LYS that stocks them. So I was like, hey, because they were behind the counter. I said, can you tan me some of those too? So anyways, I don't know what I'm going to make with this, but it was really pretty and it was specific to that shop. So that's why I bought it. All right, this stuff, I just shoved it in my bag, so I'm just going to pull it out as I get to, you know, show you as I pull it out. So there was a gal who had all of this great sheep, you know, funny things. Oh, and I grabbed a couple cards from her too. I'm not going to go back inside. I grabbed a couple cards that had funny sayings on them. So, but I grabbed this cup. I love the color, this cobalt blue, and it says 3 sheeps to the wind, which is really funny. I love it. And from that same booth, I also got a couple of shirts. This one says Sheep Happens. And the other one, I love this one. I love the shirt. Let me show you the color first. It's red, but look at this heathered. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. It says, lay flat to dry. Can you see that? Anyway, I thought those were super funny. Haven't even worn them yet. I will be taking them on my trip and wearing them. I've been wanting to get more knitting shirts and clothing, so these were perfect. Like I said, I bought 3 cards, or 4, I don't know, 3 or 4 cards. One of them says spinning gone wrong, and there's a sheep all tangled up with a drop spindle, and there was another one that would, I don't remember. I'll show you another time. It's not that big of a deal. All right. From Girl Cave Bags, I had to keep up the tradition. Tradition? That's what, it's a tradition for Vicki to go to Chester's. I knew I'd think of it. So, all of my Girl Cave bags have bird fabric. And so I was vending right next to her, and I said, hey, I need bird fabric, because that's all I have from you. And she dug it. She's like, oh, this is my favorite one, and I love it. So I got this same size bag that I have, like this, I have of the other 2, and then I got one of her DPN covers or holders for socks, and this is the inside. It's the same inside on the other one too. So, anyways, love them, love them, love them. And at one point, I asked her how much these were, because I said, I just want them to tell me how much I owe you. So, I didn't even care how much they were. It was funny. Because I knew she was one of the things I was planning on buying from. So, I was like, you know, whatever. Okay. So, Marigold Jen was there, and she had some hobbledehoy fiber. And I didn't really look at the fiber, because I'm not buying fiber. You know, the 4-ounce braids and stuff, because I have enough, but I'm actually running out of fiber to spin on my drop spindle. So I grabbed, oh, let's not do that, these batlings. It's Orange You Glad. Hand-dyed merino wool, Polworth wool, bamboo, silk, gold sparkle, etc. Yeah, there's a good representation of the colors. So anyways, it's going to look awesome. Can't wait to spin that up. One of the gals that was going to the retreat bought a whole bunch of these Chow needles that have the non-red cord. She bought out like all they had at Tuesday morning and ended up not liking them, so she sold the whole bag for 15 bucks. So I was like, done, I will take it. So I have all these needles. I know I have interchangeables, but sometimes it's nice to have a needle you can just grab. Some of them I won't use, like this 15 or 13 here. I don't think I'll ever use it, but maybe. Anyways, so, and there's a couple of Hiya-Hiyas in here too. So anyways, I really scored on that. Remember I told you about the yarn that I won, the Yowza? Well, Jen from Daisy Knits obsessively loved it and tried to get it by trading. I didn't want what she had. Then she traded somebody else for something, and I didn't want what she had still. Anyways, so she was vending. So I went and traded for something in her shop. So I got these. And these are proof why you alternate skeins, because they're the same colorway, but look how much more of the light this one has in it. Same colorway and everything. Just the nature of hand-dyed. This is some, she calls it milkweed. It's an 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon in a DK weight of 231 yards. So I have 2 of them. I don't know what I'm going to make, but something that touches my face because they're so soft. So I've never had MCN that was anything but fingering weight, so this is a treat for sure. Let's move on. So Leading Men Fiber Arts, we had a mini skein set in our goodie bags. I'll show you my goodie bag in a minute. His color was the green. I'm not always a big green fan. Like, I'm really, really particular about greens because I don't really wear green, but I don't hate the color either. It just, I'm really, really picky about green. And Steve was working on a boomerang shawl, which if you watch his podcast, you know that that's his go-to. And he had taught a class on it. And I just kept staring at this skein, and I was like, Steve, what is that color? And he's like, it's the one that's in the mini skeins. I was like, oh my God, but it was a whole skein of it. And the color, it's just getting worse, isn't it? Was like 3D because there were so many layers of the color, and I just kept staring at it. And every time we sat together, I'm like, Steve, I have to get some of that yarn. Is it Saturday? Because I have to get some of that yarn. And I said, do you have it in other bases? Because my plan was, I have so many single skeins of fingering weight that I was like, I want to try to get something else. So sport weight was my goal. And he's like, yeah, we have it in all of our bases. So, excuse me. So this is what it looks like. I don't even know if it's showing up all the way on there as beautiful. Like, I don't even know if it can be captured. It's just, here, let me turn down the light on my screen so it doesn't reflect anything at all. It's just gorgeous. And it has some blue overtones in the darker section. Oh, it's stunning. I don't know what I'm going to make out of it. I don't think I'll make something to wear like a shawl or anything, because it's 100% superwash merino. I don't think I'll make something to wear because, like I said, I don't wear green really, you know, like up here. It's not really a color that I choose. But I will make something that I will thoroughly enjoy. Mitts, socks maybe, both, because I have small feet and small hands. We will see, but it's going to be something amazing. And then, because, you know, you just can't buy one skein all by itself, I saw this amazing color, and it just popped right into my hand and had to come home with me. It's also his sport weight again, and it's called Imperfection. And it's, oh, turquoise and teal are just, they make my heart sing happy songs. So, yes, I love it muchly. And this one I will wear up here, because I love this color. Then I hit another Crafty Girl booth because I've never had any of her yarn. I've met her once before, and she wasn't bending. So I went over to her and I said, Sarah, I don't have any of your yarn. I've never had any of your yarn, and people have your yarn and it's so pretty, and I have not had any. And she goes, well, you need to fix that. I said, I know, that's why I'm here. So, sport weight again. This is an 80-20 merino nylon, 328 yards. The colorway is Hidden Wings, and it makes my heart sing too. Look at that. So many colors. Oh, I love it. Oranges and yellows and reds and orangey reds and kind of a purpley gray, and is that all of the colors? Yeah. I mean, just, oh. It's just so cool, and there's some that's more of a gray, oh, and kind of a bluish. I don't even know how she does this, but oh my gosh, isn't it gorgeous? I don't know what it's gonna be, but oh, something where I can just show it off because oh, so in love with it. But then, before I saw that, I said, can you give me kind of a layout? And so she was showing me where different stuff was. I said, okay, well, I don't want the fingering weight, but there was this sample. It was a sock. Dang samples. It's a sock that was knit up in this color. I just kept looking at it. And so I went over to the Sport and got this. Have I shown you how pretty it is? It's looking kind of purple on screen. It's not purple, though. I mean, like, there's a little purple in it. But, like, this is a very, like, gray-blue. That's funny. Depends on where you look at it. That's funny. Yeah. So, this sample, I looked and there was nothing. She only had it in fingering weight and worsted or bulky maybe, but I didn't want to do that. So I was standing there and I was like, I don't need more. I don't need more. And then it just found its way into my hand. I was like, okay, Sarah, I have to take this yarn. I'm sorry. I don't even know what's going on. It's just in my hand. But look at it. You know I love some orange. Look at this. It's different oranges. There's like a red orange and a yellowy orange, and there's kind of a peachy pinky orange, and then the white, and it's like a creamsicle. And it makes me want to go buy a creamsicle. So the sock was it was too cool, and I was like, done. The colorway is called Meep, and it's an 80/20, 400 yards. So I think this is the same as other people's bases that I absolutely love. You know who you are. So it's going to be a thoroughly enjoyable knit. And it will be a beautiful pair of socks. And then with the leftovers, I will probably make some mitts, because who doesn't need orange and white mitts? Okay, some of you are probably going, I don't. I love orange, so I need some orange and white mitts, especially for bear shoe season. I can wear them with my orange hoodie that I need a new one of. Anyway, that is all that I purchased and or traded for. So I'm going to show you my goodie bag, and then I'm going to show you one other thing that came in the mail while I was gone. No, I'll just show you that really quick because it's right here. No, it hasn't. Let's stick with the retreat stuff. Sorry. Oh, let me show you the bag first. This is the goodie bag. Woo! It's Silver Shed USA. Amy actually knit this, and they took a picture of it and submitted it to a fabric company, and they made fabric from it. And this is, I think this is a dumpling bag. I am so in love with it. It's a great size. And even the pull tab is the knitted. And then the inside looks like this. I love it muchly. And the cool thing about this bag too is you can fold it and it sits open. Fold it down and it sits open. So I haven't done anything in this except for take out my Pannkuchen certificates. So we got a needle gauge. And you know what? I have like 3. You can never have enough, because you always lose track of 1 or 2 or all of them, you know. Anyway, we got these tumblers. I have not used mine yet because everyone was using theirs, and I didn't want it to get lost in the shuffle, so I just kept hold of it. But this is actually a patch. I think they put it in there themselves, which is cool. So, and I like the solid straw there. And then we got, well, let me show you this really quick. It's a little Notions pouch that has the logo on it. I love that there's two zipper sections, and then in the bigger one there's a shopping bag from Amazing Threads. There's some Allure wool wash. There's a Miss Babs sample, and some awesome scissors with a Silver Shed USA tab, and it's knitted fabric as well. Knit, not knitted. Knitted. All right. Then we also got a magic loop holder. You push the needles through here, and then it holds onto it, so then your project hangs off of here. It has their logo on it. And lastly, we got this beautiful rainbow mini skein set, and it was from all the different dyers who were there. I haven't even opened it. You can see, like, it's still sealed. And what's really neat is it has, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then it has this pink splotchy that's really cool. And Megan has a new shawl that is meant for these, for mini skeins in general, but she designed it so we could use our mini skein set that we got at the retreat. And there's a coupon code for it in here, so, or a download code. So anyways, that is what came in there, and it was super awesome, and everybody started using their bags and stuff, and I just was like, you know what, I'm going to put mine in the room, and then I know that I'm taking mine home at the end of this, and I don't even have to worry about it. So anyways, that is all I have to show you. I've been packing my summer knitting. I'm going to take my sweater. I'm going to take the shawl secret project. I'm going to take the socks that I've done one of that has the orange and the green that I thought were going to be so ugly and ended up looking really cool together, because I have a second sock and some heels to put in there. And I'm going to be taking the yarn for a Hito Fu Day. I figure if I have big projects, then that's good. And I'll grab a couple random skeins of sock yarn just so I can throw some socks on the needles. So anyway, lastly, good grief, 54 minutes. And I've been talking fast too. Can you imagine if I'd have been talking at my normal speed? Oh, we'd have been here an hour from now still. So my second installment of the Sock Blank Club came, and I love it. Oh my gosh, it is so awesome. It's a mirror image one, and yeah, I love it. So it starts here, goes into the orange, and then the yellow, and then back into the kind of green, and then the tealy, and then back and does that again and ends over here. I love that it's only splotchy on the one side too, because it'll mean that not every section of the sock has the splotches, and I cannot wait. Well, but see, and then it goes all the way over on this side. So yeah, so in some spots it's only on half, and some spots, you know, it does trickle over into the orange and yellow. And anyways, I think I will have to drop to zeros, which is what it is. I'll just have to work on it less in a day because they hurt my hands, but I think knee highs out of this would be really cool. I love knee highs, can you tell? I want to use the whole thing. Really, I want to just wear it like this, even though it's like 100 degrees. I just want to wear it. Call it good. Heck, I could just Kitchener it. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, I am loving it. Can't wait to knit it. And that might be something I take with me this summer, because it's super easy just to throw in a project bag or whatever. But yeah, I think some knee highs would be super fun. So anyways, all right, I'm going to let you go before I ramble on too much longer. And I have a lot to do and have just used up an hour of my time. So I hope you have a great week. Please contact me if you want to try to get together while I'm out and about this summer. Follow me on Instagram, Tran Designs. I take pictures of everywhere we're going, everything we're doing. Please, please, please follow. I'm going to try and come up with a hashtag, but I don't know. I'm trying to come up with kind of a personalized one that's not too long. Anyways, if you have any ideas, let me know. But yeah, if you want to find the podcast, look in the Tran Designs group on Ravelry. There's a Tran Designs Facebook group, meltrandesigns.blogspot.com. I also upload it there. I'm working on iTunes. I haven't done the last couple episodes up over there because it was extra uploading that I just didn't do. I apologize. So anyways, and YouTube obviously has been my kind host from the beginning. So until next time, keep knitting. Bye.